And we're live. Okay, everybody, welcome back to another week of the Multiverse. I'm Bad Ty Bricks. This week we'll be discussing the movie The Voyeurs and Voyeurism 2021. So tap in, give us a moment, and we're off.
It's yours. Whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this?
And we're back. Like I said, discussing the voyeurs. But before we get into that, let us tap into our team of great, and I think this is the greatest team on earth. I don't know if I'm just being a little biased here, but
nah, man, the '96 Bulls, man.
that's what I'm saying, man. Pippen, Grant. We could go Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan.
Okay.
Whichever way you want to put it. Like, we're all great. We're all great in our own way, man. But it's great to be back another week, man. It's always fun to see you guys. But I'd love to hear how your weekends went. Let's start with you, Holly. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Anything
Let me think.
other than putting toys together?
Yeah, being mom the builder. No, not really. Pretty chill, which is always a good thing too. So
You're right. Tyrone, I know you've had a fun few days. What's going on with you, man?
Yeah, it's been a fun few days. It'll be a fun few more. I am preparing for a move to New York, selling the house, quitting the job, diving into comedy full time, just taking leaps. And who knows? We'll see. If I just you're going to want to watch one way or the other, whether you're going to watch me succeed or watch me to fail. Because if I fail, it's going to be spectacular. But if I succeed, also, it's going to be pretty spectacular. So, it's going to be fun.
okay.
Well, we have no room for failure. We know you're going to succeed. So we're just going to put that into the atmosphere and let it take off. So, we look forward to that transition and seeing what happens with that. Most recently in the news, I don't know if you guys heard, but we lost another person. Seems like every other week we're losing someone, that, has been around or has done something pretty powerful and everything. This week, we lost General Colin Powell, the first Black U.S. Secretary of State. Also he at one point was the United States Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, and also the National Security Advisor. So his career was, one of the most decorated careers of any military official, to say the least. I just real quick, Tyrone, Colin Powell, I know is a Republican and has done some questionable things, but being the first Black U.S. Secretary of State, what does that mean? Just when you hear something like that as a Black man.
I mean, it's always a point of pride when somebody cracks into a space that's previously unoccupied by melanated folks. So that is a nice thing to see. It's my feelings are on this are mixed only because you never want to see somebody die. You never want to see somebody get sick and die. That's always a tragedy. It's always sad to see. His accomplishments, very accomplished politician, very accomplished military general, and that comes with a certain that comes with some steps you got to take that aren't exactly my favorite. But on this day, I'll save those, and on this day, I will just say rest in peace, General Colin Powell, and hats off.
Very well said. Holly, any words of encouragement for the family and just the community who may be mourning the death of General Colin Powell?
Yeah, I just want to say cancer sucks because he was battling cancer, well before he contracted COVID. And again, I just want to thank him for his service, his many decades of service. and my comfort to his family for their loss. And all I can do is send positive vibes and prayers, during this tough time.
Absolutely. Yes, I want to second that and just say thank you for all your achievements, your service, and all that you were able to accomplish as a Black man, as a general in the military. And rest in peace, Mr. General Colin Powell.
Yes.
Moment of silence. And all right. Now that we've gotten through that, the Voyeurs,
My
2021.
favorite segue, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
who's watching? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, I called you guys after seeing this. I initially put it on because I'll tell everybody out there. I put it on to go to sleep. Sometimes I do that when I think a movie's going to be really terrible or really bad. I'll let it watch me as I fall asleep. And so this was one of those movies that I put on with those intentions and somehow got sucked in. And when I got sucked in, I actually came out of it pleasantly surprised. And I hit you guys up and was like, "Yo, you got to see this! It's crazy and everything like that." So once I did that, I felt good about it. And then I heard from you guys, and you guys kind of had a interesting perspective on the movie. But this is now currently Voyeurs is now being currently streamed on Amazon Prime, so you can go and check it out. But the story of Voyeurs actually follows these two individuals, which are this young lady's name is
Sydney
Sydney Sweeney, who plays Pippa, and her co-star is none other than Justice Smith, who plays Thomas. You may have seen Sydney before in things like Euphoria. She's also played in The White Lotus, The Handmaid's Tales, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and some other movies as well. But very beautiful woman. I think I would say, based on what I've seen her in, she's a pretty accomplished actress. Very good at what she does. And Thomas, played by Justice Smith, who has also been in movies like Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, All the Bright Places, and also you may have seen him on the HBO Max series Generations. Now, the story unfolds with Pippa and Thomas moving into a new apartment. And the apartment it looks like most apartments that are in New York, looks like a loft. It looks like it's all glass, all windows, kind of theme that you see a lot in the city. And it turns out that Pippa and Thomas have neighbors. And once they move in, typically you look out your windows, especially when you have nothing but windows to look out, and they encounter some interesting things. They see these two individuals, doing what couples do when they're not thinking that they're being watched. So as we move on, we see that again. This is something that I do all the time. I don't have as many windows as this gentleman, but this is something I think we as human beings do when we're home and we're in the comfort of our homes. So we walk around. Once we got to that part of the show, it started to get a little crazy, because although you have a lot of windows and although you have neighbors, you don't realize that your neighbors are going to be as nosy as Pippa and Thomas was. Not so much Thomas as Pippa. She seemed a little bit more interested than Thomas, but Holly, when you first encountered Pippa and Thomas, because before the show we were talking about your feelings about Thomas. Um, what were your first kind of reaction to their characters when you first encountered them in the apartment?
Oh, I I was like, "Oh, they're a couple?" I thought they were, like, maybe friends, just, like, rooming together, and I didn't know why he had a deep voice, or his voice was
It was so deep.
yeah, it was kinda different.
Yeah.
Um, but, no, they were excited, they were moving in, taking that next step, and it looked like she had just finished medical school, like, she became an ophthalmologist or something like that, and, it was like a next step in their relationship. They were excited. It looked like they were kind of on the come up in their industrial style loft in the city. So I don't know. I thought I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But to me, they were kind of a quirky pairing, to say the
Mm,
least.
you're being very kind. Uh,
Oh.
uh, Tyrone, you seem to like Thomas. You thought he was pretty likable, man. What'd you think about the entrance?
Oh no, I would like to clarify. I did not like Thomas at all. What I was doing earlier was telling you that I think Justice Smith is a likable guy, but I've never seen a character of his that I actually like to watch. And it's maybe some might say that after that kind of pattern, you might question the actor. But I'm like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 5 times, I'll probably keep hoping that one day you're going to be more likable.
Mhm.
So that's I don't want to hate my dude, and maybe it's because I'm like, hey, another light skinned dude out there getting some work. There's not enough of us out there.
Hey,
Just kidding. There's too many of us.
there's
There's far too many.
we're all at this point, man.
That's all it is.
We're
Stop.
popping
No.
up every day. We're popping up.
No, this character wasn't great. He was just it seemed like they wanted him to be funny, but he's not very funny. And anytime they went for a joke, it just kind of missed. So that I believe he was supposed to be kind of the early on comic relief to kind of get you through to the the suspenseful stuff, but it just didn't land.
I'm gonna take a different route. I will just call it how it is. Thomas's character seems like a lame boyfriend. Like when I said, like, if I was a
Mm.
girl and he was my boyfriend, I would probably start dating girls. Because he was that lame. He really was that lame of a boyfriend. Like, no sense of humor, really. Just his like you alluded to it, Holly. His voice was irritating. It was irritating. Like every time he talked, I was just like, "Do you really sound like that?" Did the director say you had to sound like that, or
Yeah.
I was just like, it didn't match. It like just didn't match, and so for me, and just he just I don't know, man. Like we're we've got on the subject of masculinity a lot in these days and everything like that, and I understand that a lot of times we get caught up in the masculinity and showing strength as a man, but mm, he gave me fragile, he gave me like fragile
I
vibes.
I got the vibe that he just lets Pippa kinda lead a little bit. That's just kind of how that's the vibe that I got, that
Well,
she can
sorry.
lead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tyrone.
I know it kind of occurred to me. I think a lot of it is, and I don't think he helped by any means, the actor, but I do think
Yeah.
I think that his character was just kind of an afterthought, really. Like he was there, to be kind of a device for the plot eventually. You know what I mean? Like he just had to be there to give her some other motivation. So they didn't even bother. Like they weren't like, does this person talk like a human being? They were just like, I don't know, let him say something stupid and, just whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what are you doing? You know exactly what she's doing. We've done this before. It's not your first time. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. It's, this is not how people talk. I think that's what happens when you don't have a character that's well developed enough. He was just supposed to be like Jiminy Cricket trying to get her to do the right thing or whatever. And then yeah, none of it worked for him.
Absolutely none of it worked. I mean, it was
This is an Amazon movie. I'm gonna
I mean, no, don't say that, because I mean, like, that would make you think that Amazon does not have any good movies, and that's
I mean, it's not. He's not Michael B. Jordan this isn't Without Remorse. Like, look at like. I mean, the characters.
not a fair comparison there. I just wanted
No, that's what. But I'm saying, like,
out there.
I just feel like, I mean, I don't know. Overall, this movie, I just felt like, did they really like? This could have been on Lifetime or so. I don't know. That's just like the vibe that I got.
It definitely couldn't have been on Lifetime.
Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously with some like edits, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, in general, like the effort that Amazon puts in other movies compared to this one, I can understand why it got the ratings it has on like Rotten Tomatoes. I can see why it's like kind of 50-50, because it is kind of like a 50-50 like movie in a sense.
I kept thinking that it has so many opportunities to be better.
Yes.
Like, for example, if they I kept thinking about like, what if the actor who played Thomas, instead of being Justice Smith, was somebody like the guy who played Winston in New Girl, and they brought an element of like humanity and comedy to it. And I'm not saying everything needs to be a comedy, but like that movie took itself a little too seriously sometimes, because at times you're like, this is some silly shit, and I think we should acknowledge that. You know what I mean? Like at times, you know what I mean? I wish they would have given themselves an opportunity to really, grow into something else, instead of just being like, just a horny movie, just to kind of, just a horny guilty pleasure movie.
Well, I mean, I actually liked. I mean, there's a lot.
It was enjoyable.
There's a lot with Thomas. Thomas is like you kind of put it, and he was an afterthought. I don't think he even was necessary, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody needs a job. Not trying to get anybody fired, But I feel like even Peppa kind of felt like, what is he here for? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't sleep with me on the regular. When he does, he's very corny. Like, I'm trying to be passionate and sexual, and he's like, "Oh, you are sure you want to do?"
They don't seem on the same.
Shucks,
they didn't seem on the same page. It didn't seem on the same page at all.
Not at all. And that's
why it was kind of awkward chemistry. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They just didn't seem like, even when they had the sex scene, it just was like,
Can we even call it that? Can we even call it a sex scene? Because it looked more like, I've never.
That's why I say it just gave me Lifetime vibes. I'm like, I'm sorry, like
it was really bad when it came to that whole they're passionate, like, so, because they when the show starts, they come in as this giddy, happy, we just made the move to decide to move in together. A really kind of newly, not that that's necessarily that their relationship was new, but the fact that they actually are now transitioning to, we're living together. We have our first apartment together. And you would think that your attention would be on your significant other. But as soon as Peppa had the opportunity to get something else to spark her attention, there were nights where, she would be up by herself. As you can see there, Thomas laying sleep in the bed. She decides that, it's time to go ahead and peek in on my neighbors and see if they're doing anything fun, because we're not doing anything over here. And, as we kind of progress in the storyline, we are introduced at this point to Seb and Julia, played by Ben Hardy, who plays Seb, and Natasha Lou Bardizzo. I'm sorry if I Bardizzo. I'm sorry if I messed that up, but I'm not that good at pronouncing names. But once we're introduced to them, we see that they are a very fun and open couple. And you may remember Ben specifically from this. I know you remember this, Tyrone, because this is your favorite X-Men movie.
You get that off this screen right now.
This is your favorite X-Men movie. I had to bring it up.
Man, I'm such a fan of Archangel from back in the day too. I was mad at this whole movie, but yes, I do remember him from this.
Yes. And a lot of people may or may not remember Julia, aka Natasha Liu, from a movie that came on Netflix called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Sword of Destiny. And I have to tell you, I've seen this movie. I didn't really love it as much as the original.
Mhm.
But I will say that she actually did a pretty good job in this movie with the fight scenes, and also her acting was pretty good on this. Not that you have to do a whole lot of great acting when you have martial arts movies, but it does help to when you do have speaking moments to relate to the audience. And I thought she did a pretty good job of that. But here we are back on the Voyeurs, and we're introduced to these two characters who seemingly love to have their relationship on full display at all times. Through their windows. At this point, Peppa has become obsessed. Because her life she's living vicariously through her neighbors at this point. She's like, oh, I wish my life was like theirs. They look like they're having so much fun. They're free spirited, everything like that. And her obsession turns into, now I want to kind of like make it so we can get better, audio and video. So they decide to go to a party that their neighbors are throwing. And I mean, when you're watching this unfold, Holly, are you like, okay, this is this is going too far at this point when they've now gone over to the apartment? What was your feeling?
Oh yeah, I had definitely felt that this is becoming a bit obsessive. And when you start to want to like integrate yourself into their life by attending parties and meeting them as friends, I'm like, ooh, they crossing that line. I don't know. Like, I guess it's a bit different when you can watch from afar, but then you're up close and personal, and then it's like, then maybe you know too much. No, yeah, I was like, oh, this is not going to go well towards the end of the movie.
How about you, Tyrone? Was that too much, or would you have been right with Peppa? Like, let's go.
I think that one I might have been like, yeah, let's do this. I'd have been like, I'm just horny enough for this. Let's do this. Let's crash the party. Worst case scenario, we get kicked out, right? Like whatever. I don't know if I would have, if I would have like set a trap for somebody in their house or whatever, but
planted some
yeah.
devices and whatnot.
Yeah, maybe I would have maybe like taken some more d'oeuvres home or something, at worst.
A to-go plate. Let's go, guys.
Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, maybe, if they got some nice champagne flutes or something, you gotta hit that up. But like, other than that, I'm not gonna set a trap, but I'll be over there just in case it breaks out into a costume sex party.
Hey man, thanks for your honesty there, man. I thought I was gonna be the only one on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going over there. I'll tell you that. I'd be like, yeah.
Thank you for that, Holly. But I'm gonna be honest. When you decided to now and like kind of integrate yourself into these people's lives, I thought that was a little bit too far. Like, what I mean? Okay, granted, they're giving you, pay-per-view vibes, late at night every night when your man is not. Cool. You want to watch, do whatever you do to pleasure yourself. Cool. But to actually now go over there and, knowing that these people are free spirited, and there's other things going on because, we watched it. So we know that, Seb is not, he's not the best kind of guy. He's not faithful. He pretty much is.
He's not monogamous.
Using his position and his power, because that's not really like, the way that they play it off, they make it seem like that's okay, and really what he was doing was he was using his position as being this great photographer and this renowned photographer to sleep with all of the models. Like, I mean, it was so like and he wasn't even like, the way he did it, he would just come right out. It wasn't, like he didn't have any type of, like, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but he just
there was no tact. There was no tact. Yeah, he was just like, all right, taking your picture now, and he's like, all right, now take it, show me your boobs, all right, and he's like, yeah. Right now,
Take
I've
his
seen
shirt-
those.
taking his
I want
shirt
to see what you
off.
taste like. You know, he's like, all right, he's like, calm down, dude. Like, just, you know,
I
maybe,
know, right? It was
maybe
like
would
0
you
to
like a
100
glass of
real
water?
quick.
Yeah, yeah. You need some chocolate or something, man. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
0 to
really,
100 real quick.
yeah, he
And he's like, all right, why are you trying to seduce me then? You know, just like all this other stuff. He's, you know, this
yeah,
guy.
you
Yeah.
told me to take my shirt off, but you didn't have to. Like, you wanted me, you know. So, yeah, so I thought that was a little bit crazy that when they actually pulled up to the party, but it doesn't stop there. At this point, she's now talking to her friends, telling the friends what's going on with the neighbors. They planted a device in the neighbor's crib, and as you alluded to, Holly, she's an optometrist. So she works with people's eyes. And now we find her, Julia, pulling up to the job, which I'm gonna be honest with you. When that happened, I was like, something's going on here. Like,
Yeah.
out of all of the places to go, you just so happen to pull up to, her job, your neighbors who just moved in, and it's not ironic, so I was like, oh, this is kind of, I felt like something was under, going on underhanded at that point as soon as she pulled
Yeah.
up. But needless to say, Pippa is excited. She's excited. Feels a little overwhelmed, but she's excited. And Julia decides, oh, let me invite her out. Let's go somewhere. Let's do something together. Like, I really like your personality and everything like that. Now, Pippa could have said, yeah, nah, I think you're a freak, but nah. But I think Pippa was really into her. You know what I'm saying? Like, the just observing what they're going. I think she kind of felt like she identified with her personality and wished a little bit that she was like that. Like, she had that same free spirit, and she had the same, confidence that Julia kind of, resonated. At this point, they decide to go out together, which I thought was a little awkward, to be honest. You've been watching these people have sex, and they have no idea that you've been watching them do all of these things, and then you decide to go and have a naked rendezvous in at a spa. I thought that was quite odd. Was it just me? Am I the only one that thought that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty bold move for a first hangout. Like, I don't know if I want to share bathwater with somebody I just met. You know what I mean? Like, I think I might wait until like the third hangout for that.
The third hangout.
Yeah.
Clothes on. I mean, at least have your clothes on. I mean, like, if you're gonna have,
They were at a
you're gonna share a
spa.
bath,
Show up in swim trunks.
your trunks. Like, I don't need any of that business in the going on. But what about you, Holly? You're a woman, so I don't know if this is something that women do.
Oh, yeah, like a spa day. I mean, that's natural. That's normal. I would just think like I didn't expect it to where they were getting like naked in like a, like the spa. I guess that'd be like a jacuzzi or hot like bath area.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that just because they don't know each other that well. But I mean, if you have longtime girlfriends, that's not unusual. But yeah, like first
I'm
time.
curious about that. Like, that's because I don't know. I mean, like, women and men, we're a little different. Like, men, we don't typically go hang out naked. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
don't?
I don't. Like,
No, I think it's like if we're like, hey, we went to the beach, and then like say we're sharing a hotel, and like we all just change out of our swimsuit, in front of each other. I mean, I think that's
do that. Like, do they change? Like, if you're with your homegirls, do you guys just all get naked and
I
like,
think it depends who it is and how long you've known people. Like, I wouldn't do it in front of her. Like, I don't know her like that, but
Yeah.
like to say I haven't done it in front of like some girlfriends that I have known for a long time. Yeah, we're like, hey, we're just switching, clothes real quick. I mean, obviously we're like someone's in a closet, but it's not like we're just full on like trying to hide from each other. But it's
mean,
like, hey, girl, tell me my shorts from over there. Okay, thanks.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had these three women in my window for the last 29 minutes waiting for me to take my clothes off. I don't know what. Like, listen,
I think it
I'm
just
married,
depends.
ladies. Married,
I mean,
okay?
remember in like high school, I don't know, gym, you get undressed for gym class and stuff. I mean, I know some people went in shower stalls, but I know that wasn't.
Organized sports, we would shower, after games and stuff in the same shower and stuff like that.
Oh, that was a no for me. But
Oh, okay. Well,
no, I just think the showers were dirty. It wasn't like it just, you know how you like look in like the showers, you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna get athlete's foot if I step in.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
no,
like
but I would
teenagers
like
are
get
disgusting.
yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
just
No, I think for
terribly
like
disgusting. Yeah.
yeah, but for girls, like I know like if I was on the soccer team or like changing for gym, we'd all just okay, take your clothes off, put on your switch your stuff out and go out there, and you're not like looking hard, it's quick. But like I said, to get in like bathwater naked with someone you don't really know, that's yeah, for the first time you're meeting, that's an interesting. And I honestly thought it was going to turn sexual between them. That's honestly
Yeah, she seemed,
what I thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
like she was really into her. Like when she
Yeah.
was looking in her eyes, and it was, I felt like this like little magnetism. Like she was just like, I was like, are you gonna kiss her? Like you're getting closer and closer. Like
Yeah, I really thought Pippa was like, all right, this is gonna be my time to. Because remember, she mentioned in the beginning of the movie, like her 20s, she's like, I spent all this time in the library. I didn't get to really experience anything. And I kind of, in that moment, I'm like, oh, here's her experience. Like she's experiencing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought right there.
She was like, I want to make mistakes. And she was very clear
Right?
about that shit. And she was not lying. She was a
Yeah.
woman of her word.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Like I think when she first encountered them as a couple and saw that their freedom and their
Yeah.
confidence and the fact that they don't use curtains, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like, you know, she was like, I want to be like that. You know, we have that spot. Why can't we be doing that? And unfortunately, her man was just not into that type of stuff. Like you know, he's like when you tried to do something like that with him and show him like this is something you like, he thought it was just the funniest thing he's ever heard. Like, you know, are you sure? I was like, wow, dude. Like, yo, I could see why she would be like, yeah, you're not really who I thought you'd be. Like, just pay your half of the rent, okay? Just do that. And
Well, she had the lingerie. Remember, she bought the lingerie in the beginning, and you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, she's trying to spice things up," and he, like, fell asleep, and I think that also was signs, like, I think she wanted more from him, and then, you know, Tyrone, you're like, "He's lame," but
Yeah.
but I got that vibe she wanted more.
Right. And let's be very clear. Sydney is a very beautiful, very attractive woman. So you know, as a married man, you never go to sleep before your wife, or you go to sleep. No, you don't. You just don't. You just don't. You know what I mean? You wait till they fall asleep just in case. You don't want, you know, like that way.
I like that.
I'm just saying from a married.
That's a good rule. I like that.
You never go to sleep before they do. You wait till they go to sleep, and then you can never. They can be like, "Oh, you fell asleep." Nope, you did.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
you know.
I like that.
That's why I used to, when I lived with my ex, I used to slip some caffeine pills and be like, yeah, you're not going to sleep tonight. Yeah.
You know, this brings up a good point because you know, the fact that Pippa was so started to obsess, like she literally every day she came home after she, you know, she went out and bought binoculars. You know, like it's one thing when you just look out your window and you happen to see something, but when you buy binoculars, guess what? You're now complicit. You're now involved. You're totally engaged. You're now looking forward to this thing. Like this is scheduled porn for you. Like at this point, when you get those binoculars, if you look out the window and people are doing it, hey man, I got eyes, and my eyes are doing what they do. They are seeing. But when you go to get the binoculars and you're focusing and, you know, doing all of this, you're now complicit, sir. You have now joined into the frenzy. And Pippa was fully engaged to the point where it made Thomas a little uncomfortable. He was like, oh,
yeah.
You know, like, I thought this was supposed to be about me and you. But now it seems like this is all that drives you at this point. You're talking about it amongst our friends. You bring it home. You buy binoculars. You know what I'm saying? And I think as him, at first, he was trying to just be a good boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm supportive. You know, like, yeah, babe, let's try it. You, woo, woo. And then after he saw that she was kind of like, you know, finked out for it, he was like, oh, I don't know, babe. You know, we might need to fall back. And she was like, you shut up, lame. I'm through with you. So it was like,
he said lame.
I mean, I bet she would have said that if she could have. They would have put that in the script. She'd be like, I would be glad to say that too. You know, that whole fake sex scene that we had where he lasted every bit of 22 seconds. Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, this goes out to anybody in a relationship, okay? There's two things you never say to your lady. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry makes you look sorry. I just want you to know that. Like, if you ever say I'm sorry, it makes you look sorry. If you're a quick person, be confident in your quickness. Live in your quickness if that is who you are. But don't be the guy that's like, I'm sorry, because guess what? In her mind, even though she says it's okay, just like Pippa told him, oh, it's okay, babe. What are you sorry for? Low key, she was thinking in her mind, yes, you are sorry. You're a sorry excuse for a boyfriend, for a lover, for a partner. Like,
you meant never say sorry after sex. I thought you meant like period. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to send somebody over there to protect Ty from Amy tonight. This shit's gonna be like.
I'm sorry can be used in those cases when you're actually sorry, but in that situation, like, don't be sorry. Like, what you do in those situations is you blame it on her. Always, you always say, well, look, if you wasn't this good, then I wouldn't. I might have could have. That's always how you do that. You always build up the woman and be like, oh babe, I'm sorry you got that A1. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta, just never say I'm sorry, because then you look sorry. And he really did look sorry at that very moment. So
be confident in your 22 seconds.
Yeah, he was definitely not confident at all throughout the whole movie. So that, it really kind of just really speaks to the acting that Thomas has, and also just who he is. I don't know.
Well, I mean, is it that he is supposed to have been acting that lame? Maybe he's such a convincing actor that he's that lame, and we're just like, I don't know if I could even stand being in the same room with this. And he's like, yeah. And what if he's like in real life, he's just like the coolest dude, and like he would totally be down for some window sex, and like, not freak out on you and stuff like that, and run out the house. Maybe he's not that guy.
He doesn't seem like the type, like the kind of sex that she wanted. He just didn't seem like that type, like rough or hard. Like, yeah, he just didn't seem like that type at all. Like, I don't even think like it was in him. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know, Holly.
Like, I feel like certain people you can ask, you can have like those kind of requests, but then you just certain people like, yeah, I don't know if that's in you to for me to request that or something.
And I don't know. Maybe she's just not his type. And that kind of projected onto screen. But listen,
I think she was racist. I'm gonna say it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
This cast, this is one of those things, and I think we kind of, segued into the next topic. Why are people so interested in watching other people? And I mean, when you see this cast, this is a pretty nice looking cast. And it's not typical that you see, because I can speak from actual experience of seeing, not being a voyeur necessarily, but I guess you could call me, because I'm not going to look away if I see something like this occurring, especially if I see it occurring with nice looking people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm curious, man. Like, Holly, why are people so interested in watching other people?
Oh, I think it's just I think we like studying like human behavior, like whether we realize it or not. I think just being able to watch how other people move. Do they move like me? What are they thinking? Why are they doing the things that they're doing? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like watching other people, not necessarily in having sex per se, but just in general, like where people say, I like to go people watch. I mean, I think that I just find it interesting seeing how, like, why is he walking his dog that way? Why is he walking with a limp? What happened in his life that, those questions are it's curiosity, I think.
We just had, I don't know who this is. It says Facebook user, but it says a good boyfriend would have put that ass up on the glass of the window.
Mom, stop leaving comments like that on the show. Come on, Mom.
Who is Facebook user. Saturday.
Listen, I would totally agree. I think if you're in a healthy relationship and you see something like this, I think it should arouse you with your significant other, and it should put you in competition mode. It should be like, well, all right, if they doing it, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it better. Hold up, baby, come on, you know, like we gonna do
Oh
some.
my
Yeah, like I feel like you get that vibe, like your juices start moving and everything like that. It's late at night, you're sipping wine because they were sipping wine, and you're like you see this, and they're
He
over
didn't
there
have a high
passing
sexual
it on the
libido. I just didn't
countertop.
get that. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, hey.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
he
He
seems like
wasn't
the
giving
type.
high.
Yeah, no, his
Yeah.
character was like the type like right after sex he goes and cleans off his shame. Like that's the kind of guy that he seemed like in this movie.
Yeah, he just didn't have like he's not the person you say, let's go be spontaneous. Like he just does not give me those
He's
vibes.
like, hold on, let me
at
check my
all.
schedule.
Yeah, those are the vibes he was giving me. Like we have to schedule sex, like
Which
okay,
there's
this is
nothing
too
wrong with
different.
that,
Yeah.
But like they needed some help communicating with each other because they went,
Yeah, they need a sex coach.
they didn't even start communicating with each other. She was just like, hey, we're gonna do this window thing, and he's like, I don't know, and then he's like, I'm finished, and then that was the end of it. They never talked about it. It was just, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the sad part. I was like, there's such a lack of passion in this moment. Like,
Yeah.
she's like ready. She's telling, like she's already like rubbed on, like I mean, she's already kind of like initiated what she's wanting to happen. From what we saw, like she's starting the process, and then she's like, it's your turn. And when you go to do it, it's just like, this is so lame. Like I was literally like, yo, I wanted to be jumped through. You know how you've seen the commercial where you can get inside the TV? I wanted to jump inside the TV and just be like, move. This is how you do it.
They need a sex coach.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
like, literally over here, like she's ready. She's got the binoculars watching them, and the focus becomes them, and she forgets that you're even back there. So that should already tell you, like, it's not going down, brother. It's not really what you, this is not. Oh man, I had to. I at that point I was like, yeah, let's just kill him. I literally was watching. I was like, yeah, he needs to go. I said something like that, like he needs to go. I don't know how we're gonna get rid of him, but he needs to go at this point. But as she could, as the story continues to go along, she just becomes more and more obsessed with their relationship. At this point, like we've already discussed, she's gone into the party. She's left a device that now allows them to hear what's going on in the apartment, which I thought was like, oh my God, y'all are going to jail. Like you're going to jail.
Well, real quick, I do want to say leaving a device would have made a lot more sense because the whole idea of like, this laser thing that they created was so they didn't have to go and leave a device somewhere. So, but then they were just like, let's go put a mirror in there. Just get a microphone. Like you could just dump the whole laser idea and just get a microphone. At that point, you're going there anyway. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, if you're going to stalk people, work smart, not hard, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tyrone,
yes.
This sounds like you've done this before. I'm just going to be honest. That sounds like you. I cannot invite you to the house.
All I got to say is prove it. That's all I got to say. Prove it.
Yo, man. Holly, I mean, you've already kind of alluded to the fact that, people like to watch other people because they kind of are, in essence, living out their fantasies through other people and stuff like that. Let's talk about how this is, kind of in the world, not necessarily when it comes to, sex. Let's just talk about watching people like on social media or, watching people like you were talking about walking dogs and, just being
just people watching. Yeah.
Yeah, just people watching. What is it that's so interesting about that dynamic of watching people just exist?
I think I think it's like that curiosity just to understand like people's different perspectives and how they view life and their life experiences. Like when I was watching, like when I just looked at this movie and you think about like social media and just watching other people and how she thought maybe the grass was greener on the other side, and you know how they incorporated that whole fable in the movie about the grass is not really always greener on the other side. And I think tying that into just social media, and when you watch other people, you're like, oh, their life looks so great. And that comparison syndrome too, where you're like, is it better? They're doing this, it seems to be working. But again, you're only getting a piece of the story, which in this movie, we find out we're only getting part of the story because there's only one, you're only seeing one side.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I think, I just think it's just the curiosity, and sometimes it can get you killed. So,
Oh,
you know.
Tyrone, what about you? What about you, Tyrone? Like, what do you think it is about that really intrigues people about watching people exist, and watching other people exist? Should I say?
I don't know what it might be for other people, but I mean, I can try to think about what it might be, for me, because I mean, I enjoy people watching as much as the next guy, and it is interesting to watch other people exist. I think for me, like whenever I see people doing their thing, I'm like, wow, they have no idea that I even exist in this moment. And also, like, whenever I'm out of their view, or even if I never hit their view, like, they may never know I exist at all. And like, that's this is it's a very narcissistic way to look at somebody else's existence, but also, like, it's interesting to it helps, to me, it helps put things into perspective on, like, uh just how chaotic things are, and just how much is going on outside of our own little bubbles.
Mm, that's a really good explanation. Now, um, as the story kind of continues to unfold, um, Pippa's obsession gets to the point um, that it causes a lot of different things to happen. I'm not going to tell the whole movie. We've told a lot of it, but I'm not going to tell the whole movie because there are significant things that happen in the movie that make it actually interesting and make it more than just a typical voyeur movie. The fact that Pippa has become obsessed, the fact that her obsession has caused a rift in between her relationship with Thomas, um, which now opens the door to explore her curiosity. And she does. Um, at some point, she decides that, hey, I don't want to. I don't want to just watch anymore. I want to be a participant. I want to see what the big fuss is about. And you know, as with anything that you obsess over, eventually your obsession can take real form. And we see that, she goes and actually introduces herself um, to Seb, and Seb does what Seb does, which is, have sex with everybody. So when we got to this point, all bets were off. And it kind of jumps into, our next topic, which is there a limit to voyeurism, and is there a line that shouldn't be crossed? When she actually, decided to meet Seb in person, um, did you think, Holly, that she had at this point, I mean, because she's done a lot of stuff, but at this point, this was like the final straw for you, where you like, okay, okay, like you are really, really doing too much.
It wasn't until she was sitting on his lap, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, this has gone too far." Yeah, no, when they were like actually like, yeah, as you can see here, having sex, I was like, "This is too far." Like I was like, "Oh my gosh, no! You're supposed to just keep to yourself and
Mm,
stay home, drink water, moisturize, mind your business." And then she was on his I just couldn't. I was just done. But
yeah,
I was, like, committed. But when I saw it, I was like, she broke that wall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, you're killing it for me. No, anything that happens to you, I don't feel bad.
Gosh, Tyrone, when you saw she finally just took that leap of faith and that step into the darkness, as Steph said, like, were you like, okay, she's totally went to the dark side. There's no saving her. That's it. I'm done.
I feel like she knew exactly what was going on over there. The dude had just left. She obviously hasn't had good sex in a while because she wasn't getting it before. In this situation, this is one of those moments where I say no foul on the play. You know what I mean? Like, she was a single woman who who knew that right across the street, she might have, she just got a ringing endorsement from his the person that he just went through a tough separation with, was just like, yeah, dude's throwing it down.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, he's not being used, I'm not being used, we might as well use each other. And I say, happy hunting to the lady. Yeah, I have no problem with it.
Yeah,
so calculated.
Is this one of the main reasons why women should never share their business about their lovers with other women?
Oh, I'm kind of mixed on it. I feel like I feel it's different because she was watching the whole time, but I just think it's just messed up because what happens in the movie, it's kind of like, it's not like the girl told her like, hey, my man is putting it down, da 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 da. It's more she was able to actually see it. And then
no, she did. When they were in the little bath, she did tell her though. She was like, because he was talking about how like he's an artist and he's eccentric and blah blah. But she's really good in bed. So like, they gave that moment.
She could see it before though.
Oh yeah. But like,
she could,
like,
yeah, like Tyrone.
But he could also be. I mean, because we know people exist that like they make a big show out of something, but is really not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like,
but people talk a lot of, but I always be like, people talk a lot of mess and talk a lot of people up, like, oh, they're so great in bed, da 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 da, and then it's like someone else be like, yeah, they were all right, like so I don't know. I don't really take. I'm just more like she could physically see that every girl he was pleasuring, was leaving satisfied.
They did, and she went on. She checked the Yelp reviews. Everything looked good, so she was like, worst, yeah. She's like, this 1 star looks like somebody who might have just been a little pissed off or whatever. I'm ignoring that 1 star because I don't think that's legit.
With the 1 star, I mean, that's kind of what it was. Like, my 1 star, I'm over here laying next to my 1 star every night, and anything above this 1 star is an improvement. So, you know what I mean? And I mean, like, I'm gonna try to be fair, but let's be clear. Seb was fit. He had a great job, like you see him, he's free spirited, he's confident, extremely confident. Cause I mean, like I said, he just assumes that every woman that comes through that door is meat. He's like, look, no, you came through the door, didn't you? Oh, well then you know what time it is. And like, and like, his narcissism was extreme because he would be like, if you were trying to leave, he'd be like, no, what you doing? Hold on. Let me eat it. Let me like when he told old girl, that was like, yo, he was like, no. If you leave, you're not gonna get the pictures. You're not going, what I mean? Like, I'm one of the best photographers. You know what I'm saying? And all I want to do is please you. And you're gonna. I was like, yo, and she was like, well, all right. I was like, really?
That's what I said. It seemed like
that doesn't really work. Like, does that really work? No, that doesn't really work. But for Seb, it works. Like, Thomas tries to pull that, he's getting slapped, he's getting a lawsuit, he's getting like, you know what I mean? Like, all of that kind of stuff, man.
Thomas wouldn't try that shit. He'd be like, I enjoy a good sex sometimes. And
like, let me pay for your train ride. Like, I'm so sorry that I offended you in any way, shape, or form.
letting somebody go, that's not a bad. I mean, I feel like his attempt would just be so corny and so shitty that there would be no, like, there wouldn't even be a conversation. There would have just been like, I'm out.
You probably only gonna last 20 seconds anyway. Like, yeah. So
I mean,
yeah. I was gonna kind of get into the the ending, but I'm not going to get into the ending because let me tell you what I want to explain to everybody is this is not just a sex movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times when you see titles like this, it alludes to, the sex side of things. But this would be if I was to put this in a genre, I would probably say this is more of a provocative thriller,
Yeah.
than just a sex a dirty sex film type thing. It wasn't that. I thought it was the story unfolded the way that a lot of people would not expect it to unfold.
Yeah.
Um,
Agree.
and that's kind of why when I watched it, I was I hit you guys up and I was like, yo, because that's what kept me up. That whole the whole there's a lot of twists, there's a lot of stuff that happens in probably about the last 30 minutes of the movie that saved the movie. Now, if this was just a sex film and just that, I would have been like, yeah, it was I'd have gave it one of those. But the fact that the story kind of unfolds differently, that last 30 minutes really, and I'm gonna get both of you guys. What is that?
Oh, it might be my dog. Sorry. He's just crawling around and I'm trying not to pay attention to him. He sounds like a little gremlin. Sorry.
I figured out.
Chewy is just strolling around. He's upset. I won't let him out the room. Sorry, my dog is.
It's a full moon and I'm mid transition. Okay.
I was like,
yeah, my dog.
Hungry? Like, it's like
no, he's like scratching his back on the ground and yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't want to be like.
That's cool. I'm just glad you guys are hungry because I was about to be like,
yeah, it's a gremlin back there.
Yeah.
He's just ready to eat me.
All right, so listen.
Yeah.
This is like I'm gonna give both of you guys an opportunity to kind of rate the movie and also without telling exactly what happened, give me an idea of how you felt about the last 30 minutes of the movie, in regards to the twists and everything like that, without divulging exactly what happened. Holly, I'll let you go first.
So overall, I'll give the movie like a 5 out of 10. I think there was just a lot of potential for improvement in the overall plot.
Mhm.
What I will say, I think what this movie really speaks to, just beyond just being a voyeur, I think it's like when maybe you've repressed like certain desires or things that you've wanted in your life, and then here something is like triggering it. Maybe just, I feel like you maybe have to kind of address internally, like something a lot deeper,
Mhm.
because I think she got obsessed with the voyeurism, but I think it was just much deeper, more or less like she just needed excitement in her life, where it could have been maybe she just took more vacations, or maybe she just did like had other hobbies, and her and her boyfriend were doing other things, which I think that's what he was alluding to before everything went down, was kind of like, is this about us? And I think him being kind of lame, he didn't really communicate that very well. But I think it was more like, hey, can we be doing us, versus focused on this, since they're living together. So that's kind of how I view the movie.
Tyrone, what about you?
I think that last 30 minutes or so, I think the third act is a little rushed. They try to put a lot of they try to catch up on a lot of story in a little bit of time, and you felt it because it was like, oh shit, what the hell, whiplash. Like it was very, very quick.
Yeah.
I could have, I was fine with it being a horny movie. Like if it just ended in a bunch of sex, I'd have been like, all right, that's cool. Like why not? It was just one of those kind of movies. But it was interesting. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed watching it. It was a fun watch. If somebody was like, hey, should I watch this film? I'd be like, well, lower your expectations and, maybe grab the lotion or whatever and have some fun.
Really, the low?
Well, I mean, if you are alone, I would second that. I would second that.
The weather. You don't have to be alone for that, but also the weather's changing and dry skin is a problem. So all I'm saying is moisturize, folks. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I would hope that and yeah, stay moist. Stay moist. Rating. What would you give the rating of the movie, Tyrone?
um, I feel like a 6 is fair. I feel like 5, 6 is right around, but I'll be I'll be kind because they tried.
I would probably agree with you guys. I would actually say a 6. Yeah, I'd say a 6 as well. The and I'm really giving the 6 for Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney. I think she was absolutely I think she did a very good job of acting. I
Mhm.
thought she was absolutely gorgeous. I thought Julia was gorgeous. I thought the actual sex scenes, although they were far away, kind of they were all
Yeah, they
right.
were all right. Yeah.
They were all right. But Thomas, I would say, is the reason that I drop it to a 6. Definitely, he had a very poor performance. You know, as a significant other, I was quite disappointed in him. As just like I was like, look, man, if ever you're in a situation and your woman brings you to watch other people have sex, because typically this is something that a man does. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen with women. They're like, hey babe, look, you know what I'm saying? But typically a guy is more excited to show that off to his lady than a woman would be to show it off to her man. And in this case he had a woman that was like, yo, let's watch. And then for you to be that lame of it, like, oh my god, I don't know if this is okay, I don't know if we should be doing this. Yeah, I was just like, man, dude, kill yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't kill yourself, but kill yourself. You know what I mean? Like, but so I was just, I mean, for me, yeah, I'd say it was probably a 6 too. But I will say this to all of our viewers: it is worth a watch. It is definitely worth a watch. There are things that we did not talk about that unfold in that movie that make it significantly better than it would have been had those things not been in it. Um, Although it does seem a little rushed, it is still very entertaining, especially in the last 30 minutes for sure. So with all of that being said, we've made it through another week, guys. The multiverse is picking up steam. If you have not been on our YouTube page, we are coming up, y'all. We are coming up, and that is thanks to all of your support. That is thanks to
Yes.
all of your guys coming in and subscribing and telling a friend to subscribe and all of those things. So
And
we
special shout out to Holly in that regard because yeah, Holly is more adds so much more value than what you see on the show. What you see on the show is only a piece of what Holly has to offer. So shout out
Thank
to Holly.
you.
This is absolutely true. This is absolutely true.
Thank you.
But I want to thank. I always thank Holly, so Holly knows how I feel. But I also want to thank everybody that came in today, tuned in today, was in the comment section. Amy, Zeus,
Yes.
Lisa for coming through. Zeus, is so good to see you, my brother. Like I didn't expect it usually at work, but I appreciate you coming through and showing love, man. I really think I'm really thankful for that. So listen, guys, continue to big us up, continue to support us so we can grow and so we can keep putting out this good content and come up with these different topics to talk about every week. But we've come to that time of the show. I think I'm gonna start with you this week, Tyrone. Tyrone, go ahead and talk to the people. Tell them where they can reach you and what you got going on and all those good things.
All right, as usual, you can catch me every Wednesday at 6:30 on MulTYversed. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube. Share, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Appreciate you watching. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. on the New Blurred Order. You can see good Ty there. Sorry, bad Ty there.
No, you can see good Ty.
You can see me there too. Yeah,
you can see good Ty.
You can see us all there.
You can see us.
Yeah, we're always talking about really fun stuff there too. So check us out there. Catch me at Tyrone Thornhill on all social media, and just keep an eye out in general. Who knows where I might pop up in the near future.
Ollie, it's your time to shine, baby girl.
Okay. Okay, everybody, you can catch me on So Please Understand and on Instagram. And I have a TikTok now at Holly. It's literally exactly like my name is under here. And pretty much everything I share across social media, it's the same thing on TikTok. But please follow me there. And again, join us every Wednesday at 6:30 on Facebook and YouTube Live, and subscribe to our channel. And I just posted that in the comments. So please subscribe.
We got a new link, by the way. We got a new link, Tyrone.
I did, and I dropped it, it in the comments.
Yeah.
Yes. We got that new link. So we doing big things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And as always, I am Bad Ty Bricks. And again, thank you everyone for all of your support. Continue to follow us on Facebook, on YouTube. We'll be posting. Follow Holly on TikTok. Follow us at New Blurred Order this Saturday, because we have some really interesting topics to talk about on that show as well. So definitely tune into the New Blurred Order as well, 9 a.m. Saturday morning. And as always, I will say this: be yourself, man. Don't worry about what people think. Do what you got to do. Stay focused. And I'm gonna let Bernie, my man, my favorite comedian of all time, talk to y'all, and then we'll be up out of here. All right.
Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like it if you're being yourself, fuck them. Let me tell you something. I used to go with a girl, man, about your age. I tried to please her Peppy all the time. Went out my way to please her Peppy. I come in one day, I said, nice weather we have. Said, you can't say that. You can't say that, it might rain. I said, nice tie you got on. Said, you can't say that. My wife tried to choke me with it. Point I'm trying to tell you, son, is be yourself. People don't like how you be yourself, fuck them. Fuck them up against the wall. Wear handcuffs on them and crazy through on their lips. That's all you do.
Words to live by.
You live by them, son.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the club now, Uncle Vester, and just go.
You go and enjoy yourself, boy.
So on behalf of myself, Tyrone Thornhill, and Holly Noon, we are the Multiverse. Until next week.
Jason Speed.